G'day all, Clev here, your witch hunting Brofessor, and today we're going to be learning how to beat the legendary witch hut location in Battle Brothers on expert difficulty. There will be timestamps below, but essentially today you're going to get 4 things. First, a brief overview of the location itself. Second, the types of enemies you're going to be facing. Third, the top 3 builds you can use to fight this location. And fourth, we're going to have a quick showcase of the fight itself with me in the game, fighting the witch hut location. So, first off, what is the witch hut? It is obviously a legendary location in Battle Brothers. It's randomly generated on the map every time you play. You can find it. What it looks like is this this model over here. So it looks like a witch hut with a chimney and some trees. And in my personal experience, you can find it near foresty areas, but it can be generated anywhere, essentially. And upon interacting with this location, by clicking on it, you will be prompted to start a fight if you wish. If you complete the fight successfully, you will get a guaranteed legendary loot drop called the Obsidian Dagger. And what's cool about this dagger is that every time you kill a human enemy with it, it resurrects that enemy into a Wiederganger. So that's like a zombie. It's like the zombies that you fight. So that's really good for creating extra distractions for your enemies to fight. This fight is generally considered very difficult, especially for companies with low morale because of the witches you'll be fighting, aka Hexen. So, let's get on to the enemies. So, when you start a fight, you'll be prompted, or you'll be facing 19 different enemies. Okay, so here we can see the enemies. There will be Hexen, Direwolves, Frenzy Direwolves, Webnecks, Unhold, Bog Unhold. These two are the same, they just look different, but the stats and abilities and perks are all the same. We have a medium Nakezura and a large Nakezura. Okay, so I've classified these enemies into different threat levels. So for low threat enemies in green, medium threat are in orange, and the high threats are in red. So let's go left to right on these sort of enemies that we're facing. So this legendary witch hut location is called this because we're fighting Hexen, the witches. There are 4 of them. Now these enemies are high threat. Have a high threat level because they are very dangerous. So why is that the case? It's because of their 2 abilities over here that you can see. So the first one is called the Charm ability. What that means is this Hexen blows like a kiss, and then if it lands on your brother, it will swap. Your brother will swap from your team to the enemy team. So it's basically like a mind control effect. Think of it that way. And the mechanics behind this are that I think it has infinite range, and the chances of this working is, or the chances of your brother dodging this attack is your brother's resolve minus 35. So for example, if your brother has a 100 resolve, this attack has a 100 minus 35% chance to mind control your brother. So that equates to around 65. Yeah, there's a 65% chance that the Hex will control your brother. No, sorry, there's a 65% chance your brother will be able to resist this attack. And your brother gets 2 chances at resisting this attack every time the Hex casts Charm. So if you can imagine, if your brother has like 35 resolve, your brother has 0% chance of being charmed. Sorry, it has a 0% chance of resisting being charmed. So they're always going to be mind controlled. Which is very bad because obviously you want to give your brothers the best gear, the best weapons possible, and if they get mind controlled, well suddenly you have to fight your own brother, and obviously you don't want to kill them because they're your guy, right? So that's why one reason why the Hexen is very dangerous. So the other reason why the Hexen is dangerous is because of the Hex ability that they can use. So what Hex does is it puts a mark on one of your brothers, and anytime the Hex takes damage, an equal amount of damage will be dealt to your brother, even through armor. So that's really annoying, right? So if the Hex charms one of your brothers, you can get rid of the Hex by killing the you can get rid of the charm by killing the Hexen. But if the Hexen has cast Hex on your brother, if you kill the Hexen, you might end up killing your own brother anyway. So that's why these are very dangerous, and there's 4 of them. So worst case scenario, 4 of your brothers get mind controlled, and 4 of your other brothers get hexed. So you have a very bad day if you have a company with low morale. So that's why this Hexen is high in the threat level. Next comes the direwolf, the frenzied direwolf, and the webneck, aka the spider. So these are low threat enemies. Generally, beasts have low armor or no armor at all, and they have low HP, and they're pretty much like fodder enemies. They're not too difficult. So let's go over the direwolf and frenzied direwolf in particular first. These enemies might give your ranged units. They might harass your ranged units because they have the Pathfinder. They can travel quite long distances. So you want to avoid having your ranged units on the flanks if they have very low melee skill, because these direwolves, they can flank them and they might engage your non-melee bros in melee, which is obviously a bad thing, right? The frenzied direwolf as well, in particular, has the overwhelm ability. So every time it attacks a brother, regardless if it hits or misses, it will apply a 10% attack debuff to your brother. And these things can attack 3 times per turn if they don't move. So if a brother gets engaged with a frenzied direwolf, the frenzied direwolf attacks 3 times. Your brother now has a 30% chance. 30% less chance to land a hit if your brother decides to attack. So that's not good. But the good thing about, like I said, about these enemies is that they have low HP, so you can kill them pretty easily. The spider is dangerous in large numbers, but in this witch fight there's only 3 of them, so it's not much of a big deal. You're gonna have to watch out for the web ability. So it will chuck a web on your brother. It lowers your brother's like initiative. It's defense, your brother's defense, and I think they attack by like 50%, so that's quite annoying. But these enemies are quite squishy, easy to kill. If your brother doesn't have really good armor, they might get poisoned, and that's reduces your brother's fatigue, its attack, and it takes damage over time. So you can kill these enemies really quickly at the start, and that won't be a problem. Okay. So now we're moving on to the medium threat level enemies. We've got the Unhold and the Bog Unhold. Basically these are the same enemies, they just look different. That's it. The reason why these enemies are considered medium threat are because Unholds have really high HP, so they can soak up a lot of damage. They are the damage sponges of this enemy composition. Okay, they also can disrupt your formation. So if you have your frontline brothers, you have your backline brothers. If these Unholds get to your front line, they can throw your frontline brothers behind them. They can charge forward and start to engage your backline brothers in melee, which is very bad if your backline brothers are not spec'd for melee. They also have a lot of health regeneration, so every start of the turn, they regain a little bit of HP. They are less resistant to bleeding effects, poison effects as well. And yeah, they can deal quite a bit of damage if you are not heavily armored. So Unholds, medium threats. Then we also have, next up we have the medium Nachezora. Usually these enemies, Nachezoras, are not much of a threat because they have low morale and they don't have any armor. But this medium Nachezora is considered like a medium threat because they have the Devour ability. So what that means is, if there's a dead body on the ground, this guy will walk over it, that will devour, and that will level up into a large Nachezora. Now that is when they gain extra HP, they deal more damage, they gain a boosted confidence. So these medium Nachezoras can actually become high threat level enemies if you leave them unattended. So while they're in the medium state, not that much of a problem. But once they get to a large form, that's when the trouble begins. Because in the large form, in addition to having more health and more damage than the medium Nachezora, they also gain their Devour abilities. So what that means is they can eat one of your bros. Not permanently though, your brother will never die from getting eaten. But it just basically takes them out of the game until the Nachezora is killed. So it devours the brother gets into the stomach of this guy, and he will not come back until the Nachezora is killed. So this can be very annoying. So imagine 2 of these medium Nachezoras become large. Potentially 3 of your brothers could get eaten at any point, which is very unfortunate, okay? So how do we go about dealing with this wide variety of enemies? First off, with the Hexen, we want to rush these enemies down as soon as possible if our company has low morale, and the easiest way to do that is to use a ranged brother. So if you have a brother with like a bow or a crossbow, we can shoot them from like 6 to 8 tiles away and snipe them basically before they can even use their charm ability, or before they charm too many of our brothers. If you can find the high ground tile, that's even better because we can shoot them from further away and we have a high hit chance of hitting them with our ranged weapons. So that's the easiest way to deal with the Hexen. If we don't have any ranged brothers, that's okay. We're just gonna have to rush them down with the melee, with our melee bros. But if we're gonna try to rush them down with melee, obviously these other enemies are like bodyguards to the Hexen. They're gonna be in the way. So how should we prioritize taking out these enemies? So the direwolf is quite low priority, but if they get in the way, we can just kill them. They're very easy to push over. Low HP, low or no armor at all. They'll die to any swords really quickly. The Frenzy Direwolf is slightly more annoying because it has the Overwhelm perk, so we should focus down these guys next. And then the spiders, if we can, we should kill the spiders before they web any of our brothers, because webbing, like I said, it reduces our fatigue, reduces our damage output and our defense. Webbing is just annoying, so if we can kill these spiders off really quickly, that'll be good as well. Next come these unholds. So the unholds are really high HP like I've told you, but if we're wearing heavy armor, it's not much of a problem for us. We can actually kind of ignore these guys. They're not that much of a threat, especially if we have a brother that can tank. So if you can lock down these unholds with like 1 or 2 brothers, we can focus on these other enemies, which are slightly more dangerous. They are I'd say, one of the lower priority enemies to kill. We can kill them last, basically. The medium Nakezaras, we should definitely try to focus these guys down over these other enemies, over the wolves and the unholds, because we don't want them to eat a corpse and turn into a large Nakezara. So we're gonna focus down the Nakezaras. These are actually our high priority targets here, if we can. Obviously, the Hexen come first, and these guys come second, and these green enemies come third, and the unholds really come last. So now that we know what enemies we are dealing with, let's get on to the top 3 builds you guys can use to win this fight. So the first off, we have the Battleforged Generalist. So this guy is actually not specialized for this fight whatsoever, but this is the guy I have as one of my main, he's the backbone of every company that I play in this game, okay? He's just very reliable, he can do a bit of everything, okay? So let's first off go over the gear. In terms of gear, this guy is going to have your best and heaviest armor possible. So if you have like a 300 helmet, a 300 armor piece, a chest piece, put them on, because that's what we're going to be needing, because it synergizes well with the Battleforge perk, which we'll talk about in just a moment. In terms of weapons, you give him 2 of your favorite weapons. For this fight in particular, I recommend giving this guy a great sword and a goblin pike. So why the great sword? Because the great sword deals a lot of high base damage, and the enemies don't have much armor or any armor at all. Swords generally have low armor piercing, but if the enemies don't have any armor, great. Remember how the Hex has the ability to charm your brothers? If they charm a brother, and then this brother is using a great sword, even if he lands a hit against another brother wearing heavy armor, he will unlikely deal debilitating damage. So this weapon is a bit of a compromise in terms of dealing really high damage, but it's good enough for what we're dealing with in terms of fighting off the direwolves, the spiders, the unholds, and the Hexen. It's perfectly fine, it's serviceable, but if he ever gets charmed, it's not so bad, okay? We also have the goblin pike, because if we ever need to hit something that's 2 tiles away, we can swap from our great sword to the goblin pike and attack. That's also really good. Now, in this third slot, this is the utility slot. We're going to have a wooden club or any mace that you have. Why is that important to have? Because in case we get charmed, in case one of your brother gets charmed and another brother is in its zone of control, you can swap to the wooden stick and use the stun ability and thwack your brother on the head, stun him, so he's no longer a threat to your other brothers. So those are the weapon choices that we have. I think that is a very versatile selection for the Battleforged Generalist in this particular fight. And in terms of other gear, we have for the deployable, we have a dog, but honestly you can put whatever you want. Highly recommends any gear item that can improve your resolve as well, such as the Hexen Trophy Necklace, or the Nachezera Charm, or the Nachezera Necklace, or the Alp Necklace, Alp Trophy Necklace. Those are good. In terms of your ammo, yeah, you can have whatever, doesn't really matter. If you have lots of like crossbow brothers, you can carry extra crossbow bolts, drop it on the ground in case they ever run out of crossbow bolts. Okay. So with that gear out of the way, we're now moving on to the perks. So for the offensive perks for this brother, we have the Headhunter perk. What that means, what this perk does is that whenever you successfully land a headshot, I think it's a 25% chance to do so, your next hit will guaranteed be a headshot. This just makes your damage output more consistent. I really like Headhunter on all of my brothers if possible. The second perk is the Killing Frenzy perk. Upon securing a kill, this brother for the next 2 turns will deal an extra 25% damage. So that's very good. So if you're using the Great Sword and like say you're AoEing down enemies like the trash mobs like the dire wolves and the spiders, well now you deal more damage for your subsequent attacks, which is really good. And damage for obviously combos well with more damage. So if you're landing headshots with Killing Frenzy, dealing a ton of damage, it's great. These 2 perks are great in my opinion. Next, for the defensive perks, this brother has a lot of staying power thanks to Colossus. It gives him 25% more HP. More HP is always good, so you take less damage. You take less injuries. The threshold to deal injuries against your brother is much lower, which is good. And obviously more HP means you can stay on the field for longer, take more damage, stay around for longer. It's great. Steel Brow is a mandatory perk in my opinion for every Battleforged brother, so you don't take debilitating head injuries or get one shot by Orc heavy flails. Orc Berserk Chains. Obviously this doesn't apply for this fight, but a Battleforged Jonas you're going to have in your lineup anyway. It just so happens that we're going to be giving him specific gear for this fight. Next up, we're going to have the next defensive perk we're going to have is the Underdog perk. So you're going to get surrounded by dire wolves and spiders, so it's always good to have Underdog. Underdog reduces the defense Maulus that you receive, so if the enemies have extra chance to hit you based on them surrounding you, this perk will negate that, which is really good. Okay, and finally we have the Battleforged perk. So this reduces the damage you take to your armor. I believe if you have a 300 durability helmet and a 300 durability chest piece, I think you take around 40% less damage. I think around 30% less damage to your armor, which is really good. It keeps you in the fight for longer, keeps your brother healthy. Because if he has more armor, he takes less damage. Taking less damage means you stay around for longer, which is great. So now, in terms of utility perks, we have the Pathfinder perks to make sure that this brother can get to where he needs to be on the battlefield. He can always walk once and probably have enough stamina to swing once with his weapon, which is good. That is the Great Sword. He can walk once and swing once with the Great Sword if he has at least 17 stamina, so that's pretty good. He can walk twice and hit once with the Goblin Pike if needed as well. Okay, next we have the Fortified Mind perk as well. What this does is increases your resolve by, I believe, 30%. So the more resolve you have, the less likely you are to get charmed by the Hex's ability. Well, yeah, it basically raises your overall resolve. And the higher resolve you have, the less chance you get charmed, the less chance that you'll get scared, the less chance you'll get frightened when you take damage, such and such. So Fortified Mind is always good. Keeping your brothers brave, always a good thing. Quick Hands is a good perk to have, so you can always swap freely between your weapons depending on the situation. It's a great utility perk. It gives your brothers options every turn. Brawny is a bit of a flexible perk here. You don't have to take Brawny, but I like to take Brawny to give your brother extra fatigue. If he's wearing 60 fatigue worth of armor, that's basically an extra 18 fatigue bonus. Oh, sorry, Fortified Mind only gives you plus 25% resolve bonus. Fatigue, Brawny gives you minus 30% fatigue cost to wearing armor. So if the armor costs 60 fatigue, it'll cost 18 less fatigue to wear, which is 18 more fatigue to play with, which is really good. If you don't want to take Brawny on your brother, it's okay. You can swap this out for any weapon spec that you want. So you might want to take like X specialization, the X mastery, and then carry double axe. But like I said, even if you take X mastery, you might want to consider carrying a greatsword and goblin pike, specifically just for this witch hut fight. And if your brother can take it, give him the student perk so he levels up a bit faster. Okay, so that's the Battleforge Generalist explained. Moving on, we have the Witch Hunt and the Sunken Library Throwing Specialist. So this brother is built specifically for the Witch Hut on the Sunken Library Legendary location. So it's a skirmisher. So looking at his gear, he's going to be wearing light armor, so roughly around a 5 to 7 durability helmet, and a roughly like 10 chest piece. In terms of weapons, we're going to have your two most favorite throwing weapons. So in this particular fight, you can use double jet throwing javelins. That's pretty good, but honestly, you can carry whatever you want. If you want, you can carry a nomad sling as well if you need more projectiles. And as the third weapon, you can always carry whatever one-handed weapon that you like. In particular, I like the fighting spear, or whatever spear that you have. It's really good because you can screen enemies that are trying to flank you with the spear wall ability. And the extra hit chance you get from using a spear is also good, plus 20% hit chance is always good if your brother has low melee skill, okay? In terms of your offhands, you can carry a net as well. So you can throw this net on really high threat enemies such as unholds, to will net them down into place, reduce their initiative, and make them easier to hit. So the nets are always a good thing to have on your throwing specialist. In terms of your deployables or your necklace, I like to have a owl, sorry, not an owl, an eagle, a bird basically, to deploy onto the battlefield. So when you deploy the bird onto the battlefield, you can see everything on the map. So that's always good to have information on where your enemies are deployed, so you can deploy your brothers into the appropriate locations to counter the enemy's formation. So bird is always good to have, and it doesn't really matter what ammo you have. Okay, in terms of perks, the new perks that we see here are the Throwing Mastery. So Throwing Mastery is always good to have on a Throwing Specialist. It just means that you deal extra damage if the enemy is within 3 tiles of you with your throwing weapons. So that's always good to have. Berserk is always good to have as well, because if you get a kill, you gain back 4 action points. So for example, if you use 4 action points to throw a javelin and it kills the enemy, you go from 9 action points to 5 action points, but then Berserk procs, and then you gain those 4 action points again to do whatever you need to. So more action points to play with is always good. Duelist means that your javelins and your throwing axes, or whatever throwing weapons you have, gains extra armor piercing. So I believe an extra 25% damage ignores armor when you use the Duelist perk with these throwing weapons, which is also good. It also works with your fighting spear or whatever one-handed weapon you would like to have in your inventory as well. So that's good. Nimble reduces the HP damage you take based on how light your armor is. So in particular, for example, if you are wearing a 5 durability helmet and a 10 durability chest piece, you will only take 40% damage to your health from enemy attacks. So that's a 60% damage reduction, which is pretty insane. With this build in particular, with this white-handed helmet and the basic metal shirt, you are taking only 47% damage to your health, which is a 53% damage reduction. So that's pretty good. Okay, in terms of the other net new perks, we have Lone Wolf. This is mainly for the second library fight, but what it means is that if your brother is 3 tiles away from any of your other battle brothers, at least 3 tiles away. No, if your brother is 4 tiles away and no brothers is within 3 tiles, you would gain plus 15% attack skill, range attack skill, melee attack skill, range defense, melee defense, and resolve as well. So Lone Wolf is a very good thing to have for your throwing specialist. If you are going to run them off onto the flanks, and he can get a better angle to throw stuff at enemies, so Lone Wolf is good to have. If you don't want Lone Wolf, that's okay. You can swap Lone Wolf out for Recover, which I'll talk about next when we get onto the Battleforged tank. So the Battleforged tank is going to be used to tank enemies, such as like the Unholds. So in terms of his gear, the new things that we see here are the shield. So you want to carry a shield to increase your melee and range defense. And we have the Undead Trophy Necklace as well, which doubles your resolve against mind control or against resolve affecting attacks such as the Charm. So for example, if your brother has 100 resolve, if the Hexen tries to use a charm against this brother, they will have 200 resolve. Keep in mind that the Hexen will always have a 5% chance of charming a brother. Doesn't matter how much resolve this guy has. Also, in terms of like melee defense, even if you have like 100 melee defense, there will always be a 5% chance the enemy gets to hit your brother, because that's just the way it works. In terms of other gear, you can carry whatever you want in your backpack. It doesn't really matter for a tank, because he's probably just going to be tanking with his shield most of the time. If you have a net, obviously you can swap out your shield with a net, and you can throw the net on an Unhold, for example, if you need to. Okay. In terms of the net new perks we're seeing here, in terms of defense, we got the Shield Wall skill. No, not the Shield Wall. The Shield Mastery skill, the Shield Expert skill, which basically means that whenever this guy uses any shield effects, the defense bonus he gains gets doubled, which is always good. The shield takes, I think, 50% less damage as well, to a minimum of 1 damage, which is always nice. It gains a bit of extra durability as well. So the Shield Expert, really good to have on any tank character. We also have the Indomitable skill as well, Indomitable perk, which gives this brother a skill for 6 action points and I believe 25 fatigue. This brother will will take 50% less damage. He cannot be grabbed, he cannot be stunned, and I believe, yeah, he cannot be grabbed and cannot be stunned. It cannot be moved as well, so that's very good to have Indomitable. Okay, fatigue. To manage your fatigue, like, I should say, this brother is going to be spamming shield skills a lot and Indomitable a lot, so he's going to be using up a lot of fatigue. To recover that fatigue, we have the Recover perk. When you use this perk, it will cost 9 fatigue to use, and it basically reduces your accumulated fatigue by half. For example, if your brother has, let's say, this is like 50 out of 60 fatigue, if you use the Recover perk, he will regain 25 fatigue. So it's always good to use Recover to gain regain fatigue back. And yeah, that's it. That's all of the perks. This brother is really tanky. It's good to have. So what you want to do is use this brother to soak up, or to occupy as many enemies as possible, or you can use him to lock down Unholds into his zone of control using the Indomitable skill. I hope all of that makes sense. So just quick recap. Battleforged Generous, you just have him on your roster, you put him in the front line, put him on the flanks, put him in the back line, whatever. This guy is just very versatile. He can do anything and everything, to some degree, in my opinion. But he's just mainly there to deal damage against the enemies. Okay, we have the Throwing Specialist just to throw stuff at the enemy, harass them, kill them from range. They can net down very key targets such as the Unholds or the large Narchezaras as well. He can screen against dire wolves and spiders with the spear if he needs to as well. And then he's got the bird to see where all the enemies are. And then we have the Battleforged tank to lock down enemies, to pretty much protect your other brothers from taking damage with the shield skills that he'll be spamming, and the Indomitable. Okay, so with that all out of the way, it is time to go and spectate a Witch Hut fight. Okay, I would not be using most of these recommended builds because at the time I just had to use what brothers I had for the fight. But as you'll see, it's not a difficult fight if you have really high resolve brothers. So it is what it is. Alright, let's get onto it. Just one more thing before we get onto the fight. If this video helped you out or if you enjoyed it, please consider giving me a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and I will see you guys next time. Peace. Oh. Witch hut. Oh, we can actually probably do the witch hut, actually. How injured are the guys? How much resolve do we have? The arm's looking actually pretty good, actually. Okay. Let's go to the switch hub. 19 of these guys. We got high ground here. It's actually pretty good for us. Anti-direwolf. Let's wait. Let's see if I can take out this direwolf. One hit first. Maybe I deploy like this. I keep two of my bros on the high ground tiles. So this guy actually goes here. This guy might go back actually. I actually target the Hexen yet. I'll target that one. I'll take out this direwolf. And the hit. Nice. Fibers. Unlucky. Maybe I just set this guy in. Does Rommel have a... Where is he? Rommel... He doesn't have Lone Wolf yet. I'm gonna back my men off. Before he can get Lone Wolf buff. Well, I was just moving forward actually. I may have done goofed here. Taking out one Hexen. I'll took 2 hits from that. That's not good. Wait. I need to indom. Bleeding, nearly dead. Let's wait on this guy actually. Will I actually start shooting this on hold? Maybe not yet. Do the rotation play on this guy. I'm gonna break through from that. Maybe start trying to take down this Nacho. Asa. Oh no. Jeez, okay, let's end on. Nacho. Oh no, level 3 Nacho. This could be bad. I know we've been eaten. Let's wait on this. I think I should start stabbing. I think just miss on everything. Oh, I couldn't kill it. I'm actually kinda upset that we didn't kill it. So I put this dog here, so this unhold will have to walk through 2 zones of control. Get to my guy. Oh my god, he got hit by a spider? Are you serious, dog? Put my tanks back up and running. Unhold being there is a bit unfortunate. I was not ready for this. I think my tank will be fine. Nice. Fine. Take out. One? No? Can't risk shooting up my own bro. Maybe I can get better line of sight on this wolf. Or... what do I do with this boy? Wow, a sling. Try to hit this one. And Dom again. Mission play? It's not going for this guy to hit. We can pull out the crossbow. Load it. Last one. Oh, it's not dead. Unlucky. I'm gonna save my bro. Oh, there's level 3 Nacho there. I totally forgot about it. Let's save this bro. And this wolf first. Do that first. Oh no, this is horrible. Okay, my guy's just missing on everything now. And I'm again. That one's nearly dead. Let's try and unrock it. Nice. That's 50% damage, but this is like... Tex is gravely wounded. Okay, I guess I just missed on everything. I should have kept the guy there actually to occupy the nacho. Spider down. I'll actually take out the I'm gonna take out the nacho with that. I don't think it's happening. I'm trying to break him. That's actually a good result. We didn't take any damage there. Oh. This is good rock. Break. Nice. Let's recover this bloke. Let's see shoot this on hold. I don't think you can get grabbed by this nacho. I don't know, nacho might be able to eat it, I'm not too sure. Oh my god. My hex. I'm gonna take this one out. Was the nacho more dangerous? I think the nacho is probably more dangerous. I only have a few turns to take this one out. rock. Perfect. Okay, that one's running. That's good. That's actually pretty good for me. Can't actually blast this one yet. Fine. This one's protected by a hex. Another move here. Another move here. Start stabbing. Nice, that guy's safe now. I'm gonna take out this one. Stop blasting this nacho. Zombies. Well, okay. Need to try and save brother here. Perfect, he's still alive, hasn't been devoured yet. Oh, that's not good. Just stab this other hex first. It's down. Nice. Probably move this guy in to get ready to attack this unhold next turn. Wait on you. Wait on you. Oh jeez. Oh, what? Brother. This has to be the shot. Yes! We did it. Perfect. That was just a simple left. Wonderful. Move on. Move my guys into position. Let's wait on you. Blasting in the range. Let's run this guy down. The dog. Nice. He's actually really happy. We beaten the witch hut. Or whatever this place is called. Who should get the final kill? Probably the rock guy, to be honest. So we get some XP. Nice. It's fantastic. Mysterious herbs, got giant booch. A whole bunch of stuff. It's hectic, lad. Alright, 1 second. Ready? I'm back. So I guess we just read through the text. So who are you? Just old hag in the forest. How do you know who I am? Interesting. Who are the ancients? Who are the ancients? What is a dove pool? Some sort of cult probably, or the greenskins human. Oh, there was another human. Why am I called the false king? Oh, okay. Go to the noblemen and the rich. Pay you gold, risk your life to live and no more than kill. Yeah, that's what we do. We sell swords, right? The power of a lie is only equaled by one's desire to believe it. It was not you or your weaponry, but the presence of your company whole which brought her fear. Only the dawning of some unknown realization. Who am I? No more questions. We made a deal and that's the end of it. What's the deal? I forgot about it, bro. I pray there or not. Alright. We're done then. I should take my leave. Or should we just kill the Hexen? Because witches are witches, man. Boom. Die, witch. Alright. Nice. We get an obsidian dagger. That's hectic, lad. Resurrects any human killed. Interesting. Kinda cool.